high encryption levels in cryptocurrencies does not justify the price. That's my topic today. Hello. Come on in. I've already discussed in my prior videos that I'm discussing cryptocurrencies and the false claims to great value that are pushed to us by cryptocurrency enthusiasts. And this is my third video, the one that I said I'm gonna give to you guys. I've done 2 videos on cryptocurrency of why I think it's a bad idea. You can find the links to those videos here below. They are labeled in terms of the order in which I shot them. I shot one last year and I shot one another last week, I think. And this one is the third one in this series. So stay with me. I'm talking about why the insistence by cryptocurrency enthusiasts to look pointing at high levels of encryptions are a misdirection at best and an overt dishonesty at worst. I'm going to explain that position just now. Okay, folks, okay. Where are we? So I'm pretty sure that by now, if you've followed any of this talk by people who push cryptocurrency on you, is that they talk a lot about high levels of encryption, they talk about cryptography, and I must say that a lot of this talk is convoluted, to be quite frank with you. Yeah, but they talk about it in terms of how the cryptocurrency system based on blockchain technology is secure because of high levels of encryption. And then they extrapolate that, therefore, because of this, put in your money in here. This is this is one of the reasons why this thing is valuable. This is one of the value propositions. And I find it to be a bizarre argument and misleading, and it could potentially be actually an outright attempt to defraud investors. I'll explain why. And to explain this, I've been thinking of a lot of illustrations that I could use for this particular discussion. But the one that I find to be quite useful is this one. You know that in certain premium hotels, 5-star hotels, and by 5-star hotels here I mean the ones that charge at the minimum, say $3,000 a day for a simple room, and they can charge up to $10,000 a day a room for bigger sized with more amenities, and for a penthouse they could charge you something around $20,000 to $50,000. So these hotels are generally used by high-level executives, rich folks, and they'll normally have these vaults. You know, every hotel rooms have a small safe where you can put whatever of your belongings, so that if anything happens, your belongings are safe. But for certain items that are very valuable, you can request from the hotel if you can put your stuff in the vault. These vaults are very safe and secure, similar to the vaults that are used in banks. Very secure. Let's just call them very secure safes. And let's just assume, for argument's sake, that these vaults can be hacked and can be broken into. So if that's the case, Assume now you meet a particular speculator of some sort, and he has this nice product that he wants to sell to you. And then he says to you, listen, I have this product. Oh, what product is it? You may ask. This product is horse shit. But this horse shit has been properly dried in a lab. It has no moisture. 0% moisture. It's very dry. It is in an airtight container. And as we speak right now, this horse shit is stored safely in a very safe vault at the Bank of England. Some of the safest places in the world. And in order for, if I sell this horse shit to you, there is a 4-level verification process that needs to happen in order for you to access it, which means that it's impossible for the system to get to the horse shit at the Bank of England vault or at this hotel. Let's call it the Continental Grounds. Who are the John Wick fans here? At the Continental Hotel. You know what I'm saying? And then you ask yourself, okay, so this is horse shit. Yes, it's horse shit. Normal horse shit. Yeah, normal horse shit. And you're saying, how much is it? And then the person tells you, it's, for you, I have a special offer. It's only $15,000, my friend. Really? Why is it $50,000? It's $50,000 in part because it is safe. It is stored safely in the vault at the Continental Hotel, or it is stored safely in a vault at the Bank of England headquarters in London. How many of you folks would look at that proposition and be like, it does sound like a good investment opportunity. I will have this horse shit that no one can steal, no one can duplicate or sell me a fake. And it has 4-level verification or authentication process. Here you go, $50,000. I know that this illustration could probably be considered a stupid illustration, and it's stupid for a reason. Because the way that cryptocurrency peddlers are using encryption in connection with the value of this digital currency that they can't properly value is a similar way of saying, we have this very safe system that simply can't be hacked. And in this safe system, we are selling a product that we can't properly value, but we are telling you that because it is such a very safe system, you must pay $30,000 for it. That is basically what they are saying to you. So the entire elaborate dog and pony show about encryption and cryptography is nothing else but a misdirection, and nothing else other than trying to deceive you. That's basically what it is. Because any asset or product that someone is selling to you, its underlying intrinsic value cannot possibly be based on the fact that it is sold over a safe system. Oh shit, you folks aren't ready for me right now. Stay with me. I'm saying the intrinsic value of any product or asset can't be purely based on the fact that the system that it is sold over or that it's stored in is safe. That can't be the basic intrinsic value proposition. Because you can store useless information under very secure systems, and that does not automatically make these useless things valuable, which is why I'm using the example of horse shit. Because in a very secure system, you can store anything. The only thing that you're telling me about the security of the system, you're just telling me about information security, which is a very important discipline. And companies spend billions, collectively billions of dollars a year protecting their information. They protect it with millions of dollars per company or whatever, because the information itself is important. The information does not get value based on the fact that it's stored over a secure system. And so when someone is selling you a product, they could very well be selling you a novel that was written by their grandma 50 years ago that is worthless. And they are just telling you that, okay, you know what? It's been stored in our family safe that no one can hack, and it's been stored there for the past 200 years. Okay, it was written 50 years ago, it's been stored there for the past 50 years. That is not a value proposition. But we need to talk about encryption, cryptography, and all those things. Cryptography, for instance, it's a new discipline. And I know that cryptography now is spoken a lot about with regards to computer science and IT and all those other disciplines, but cryptography finds its natural home in mathematics, which is why a lot of people who majored in cryptography have historically been mathematicians. And the most obvious example of using encryption and cryptography that people can identify with is the Enigma machine that the Germans used in World War II. And the mathematician Dr. Alan Turing has been considered the father of machine learning, and his life has been displayed by the movie The Imitation Game, starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Dr. Strange, if you like. So the Enigma machine was probably one of the first few technologies that were based on encryption, which was basically an attempt by Germans to send information and communication over long distances in a manner that is safe. And the hacking of that machine by the Allies has been said to have been consequential in the victory of World War II. So that's one example of cryptography being used in a way that can be understood. But a lot of us, cryptology, it's often used in military communications post-World War II. Almost every form of military communication installment, military communication system use some form of high-level encryption or some form of cryptography and cryptology. For instance, the White House in the United States of America uses some of the most sophisticated encryption that can be found anywhere for phones that are used by the President of the United States, the VP, National Security Advisor, Secretary of State, the Defense Secretary, the CIA Director, the FBI Director. All of these individuals use phones that are issued by the Secret Service, and these phones use high forms of encryptions, which means that they can't be tracked in terms of GPS locating, and number two, they can't be hacked, which means anything that they communicate over these phones, you can't eavesdrop it. And the DOG and the NSA uses some encryption methods that are almost impossible to hack. And some of the commercial uses of cryptography that I can think of is used in banks. Banks use cryptography and cryptology to secure information, including the client's information, securing of long-distance financial transactions. These types of like international transactions, like the system of international banking transactions, like SWIFT, for instance, use some high-level encryption, and just basically so you can understand that it's not just cryptocurrency and digital currencies that employ cryptography and cryptology. Almost every single bank in the world uses this. Every military in the world that is worth its salt uses cryptography and cryptology to secure its communications. And so beyond banks and military and insurance companies, cryptocurrencies now are using this system as well. And I mean, like other examples, PayPal uses it for obvious reasons. Platforms like WhatsApp, which uses end-to-end encryption, which means that their messages can't be hacked. You can't read them unless you have access to the one or the other of the phones. And if the phone is an iPhone, which also uses high levels of encryption, mostly cryptography, can't be hacked, which means the WhatsApp messages in an iPhone between iPhones can't be accessed, not even by the FBI. So a lot of examples that I could use, but however, the fact that the iPhone can't be hacked has not resulted in the iPhone costing customers $30,000. The fact that MacBooks also can't be hacked has not resulted in a MacBook Air costing $30,000. Even though information security that is used to secure these devices is critical in the value proposition that is presented by Apple in selling both iPhone and MacBooks. And the fact that these companies, including Apple, use high levels of encryptions have not at all led them to charging customers exorbitant prices that make no sense. Prices that are comparable to what cryptocurrency is charging us. My point here is to say that encryption, especially high levels of encryption, cryptography, cryptology, are a big part of our lives currently. Big part of our personal lives, business lives, but it has not been used at any stage before cryptocurrencies to shake us down. Let me repeat that. Cryptography and cryptology and high levels of encryptions are a big part of our business lives and personal lives, but they have not been used until cryptocurrencies as an excuse to shake us down. Generally, what banks do is that they hire expert cryptography experts. They build a very secure system, charge banks millions of dollars, and then what banks do is that they spread that cost over their client base, and they don't also spread it over one financial year. They build a system that they can that becomes valuable to the customer by using the system of economies of scale, such that at no point have banks used the fact that they spend so much money to secure their systems been used to shake as a shakedown record, because this makes it what cryptocurrency is. So, but you make no mistake, you do pay for security. You do pay for information security, and information security in the 21st century is a huge commodity. Information security, cyber security, and all of these things involve high levels and multi-layered levels of encryption, cryptography, cryptology. The Mexican cartel, for instance, which deals in the trafficking of people and goods and trafficking money over the US-Mexico border, where you are basically paying for the convenience of crossing the border securely. It has not crossed their mind to charge customers $30,000 per trip over the US-Mexico border. Even though the reason why you are paying the Mexican cartel exorbitant amounts of money, you're paying them for the risk that they are taking, but you're also paying them for the fact that they need to bribe officials, they need to do all kinds of shady things. But it has not crossed their minds to shake customers down by charging them $30,000. And the prices that they charge, it's sometimes like $5,000, but it's normally like between $2,000, $5,000 for a trip from El Salvador and Honduras to the US. But that also includes the transport cost and food and whatnot. But I'm just showing you the difference in terms of that information security being as important as it is, and being important for both governments and institutions and for individuals has not been used at any stage in our history to shake us down up until this point. So suppose, for instance, we assume that the cryptocurrency system is 100% safe, which is absolute bullshit, obviously, that it cannot be hacked. It's bullshit because there's no such a thing as a system that can't be hacked. Which is why even the DOJ has been hacked, even the DOD has been hacked, even the FBI have been, even though these security breaches are very rare. We hear about them because of how consequential they are. Even though, for instance, SWIFT have been hacked before, maybe once or twice. We hear about those events because they are so consequential, and then after that they have to re-engineer their system to make it more secure. And the problem with this premise that we can't be hacked, it only has to happen once for a cryptocurrency platform to be hacked, for the entire house of cards to crumble. Because there is no system that can't be hacked in the world. There is no safe that can't be cracked. There is no security system that is 100% secure. Even though millions of dollars per year are spent for the sake of information security, because information security is power. And one of the biggest issue between organization is corporate espionage. It's a big multi-million-dollar industry. So which is why then companies will hire cryptographers, IT specialists, even hackers to secure their systems. And then they take that cost and then they spread it over their customer base in a manner that makes sense. And $30,000 for the benefit of buying an item whose value can't be ascertained over a secure system makes no sense to me. So the problem that I found with these cryptocurrency disciples and enthusiasts is that they are unable to explain the value proposition. That is really where they fail. They are not able to give a concise, clear, coherent value proposition. And since they cannot give us a clear value proposition, they have to go to things that confuse most listeners, like cryptography, cryptology, encryption, in order to conflate the discussion and conflate what is being discussed. And then you're hearing all of these big terms and these big words, and maybe you don't even have a scientific background, you don't have any coding experience, you're not a mathematician, you don't know anything about information security. You just sound all of these big terms, and then you are being bamboozled to pay $30,000 for something that is worthless. So since they're unable to explain how cryptocurrency derives its value, they are instead engaged in these dog and pony shows. And then they go into explaining concepts which have no clear economic explanation in terms of using any known economic theory. It doesn't have to be an economic theory that I agree with. Any known economic theory to explain in terms of how do you get the fact that this system is based on cryptography and cryptology, encryption, to the fact that one coin is $30,000. So my assumption and my thinking is that cryptography is going to be very important in the future. Cryptology is going to be very important going forward. Blockchain is going to find many and varied uses, as I said in the previous video. But my argument here is that being highly secured, being more secure than the Bank of England, who no one can draw up, well, except George Soros, does not explain this value. Doesn't explain it. And generally, if there is value, it can be explained easily. It doesn't need a guru to explain it. Where is the value, guys? Where is the value? Because the same people then, when once they've made money through cryptocurrency by shaking you down, they cash it out, deposit it into the same banks that we are using that are based on dollars, the same banks that are based on the encryption and secret levels that everyone is using, and then they are spending it in dollars. So I'm just trying to understand in terms of like, and obviously there are transactions now that are done using Bitcoin, but that's not what the pushing of cryptocurrency on us is based on, so that we can use cryptocurrency to exchanging of goods. It's so that they can get rich, or as a promise that if we buy, we're going to get rich by selling to another fool down the line who's going to buy it for a higher price. And then once we sell it to a fool down the line, we sell it in dollars, and then we get the dollars into the bank account that is based in dollars, and then we spend it based on these dollars and the currency that they despise. Yeah, anyways, that's just on a side. Yeah, so I'd like to hear your thoughts in terms of what you think about cryptography, cryptology, encryption, and how it relates to the value of cryptocurrencies. Have in their elaborate displays of encryption, have they fully persuaded you of a rational link between this product being based on a very secure system and why the price is the way that it is? Have they even attempted at all to show a rational basis between high levels of encryption and what is the value proposition that cryptocurrency is presenting to a normal day-to-day bloke like you, myself? Comment below your thoughts, comments, questions, disagreements. Where do you agree with me on? Where do you disagree with me on? Let's talk about this. I understand. I agree that my treatment of cryptography and cryptology was not an in-depth treatment of it, because if I'm gonna do a proper treatment of it, it will be longer than this video, and it might require me writing a 200-page book just on the cryptography and cryptology before talking about the applications in terms of day-to-day life. So I understand that there are limitations to that, and because of the limitation, I'm not gonna have a 20-part series talking about cryptography. That's just not something that is rationally justifiable in a medium like YouTube or Rumble. But just let me know what your thoughts are. Okay. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts?